Good day. This is Cast Iron ASMR with two Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles comic books. It's Eastman and Laird's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Adventures. The ones published by Archie Comic Books, not the ones published, self-published by Eastman and Laird, like this one. Not the black and white ones here. This is what it's not. It started out like this. April O'Neil busting out of her shirt, then became a cartoon where she had more buttons. Alright, let's take a look. I bought these two issues at a flea market shortly after I first started collecting comic books. I had $10 in my pocket. I collected Spider-Man, and there was issue number 300 was at the flea market. I was looking to get it. 300. They wanted $10 for it. That seemed ludicrous. I did not buy it, and I have never owned it. But I got these ones, and I think maybe I paid at most $2. So let's take a look. These are based on the cartoon, which is based on the self-published comic book. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, perhaps you've heard of them. They are a worldwide phenomenon. Man, could you imagine if you were as a Kevin Eastman and Kevin, why can't I think of that guy's name? Bill, George. Their idea spawned so much merchandise and plastic to the world. Okay, here we are. Here's the half shell. Turtle power. I haven't looked at this comic book in many, many years, but I know that it's the origin. It's from the cartoon. It's from the comic book, the movie. I'm very aware of what happens. Here we've got April O'Neil reporting from an alley in New York City. Here's some thugs. Pretty clean looking alley. The cartoon, I used to always find it funny how there were never any pedestrians in New York City. Vehicles are traffic. So she gets attacked here. She's pretty tough. She's throwing the camera. And she's trying to get down there. That's a pretty tight squeeze. She plops into the sewer. And I take the manhole. So these guys are going to turn into, I was going to say Rockstar and Bebop, Rocksteady. Bebop, lucky. This guy here's got like Wolverine hair, because it was all the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. It was all just a rip-off of the popular comic characters of the day. One of my first experiences with the Turtles, before the cartoon came out, I had a friend, not that friend, no, the other friend, and he collected comic books. And he came over. That's the first time, I'd been to the flea market with him. He'd be looking at certain comics. Oh, I could take that. I could iron it, make it flat. He was very concerned with the comics being in good condition and flat. And he came over and he had a bunch of these comics, turtle comics, but before, like I said, before there was a cartoon or anyone had heard. And he said, oh, you should take a look, they're so cool. And he had more than one. And I was like, I knew, he liked things to be kept in good shape. This is a wraparound cover. Man, I've had a few of those lately. That's nice. And so he said, oh yeah, you can look at it. Yeah, no problem. So I took it out of the bag and flipping through. And I think I flipped from the top, and then I flipped the page, and it ripped. I was like, oh my god, I'm so sorry. And he was like, a bit older. He was older than me, and I thought, oh man, hey, look at that. That's his head. I just grabbed this as an example. This is my oldest Turtles comic, book 2. It's probably like a second print or something. I don't know, maybe not. Anyway. So, yeah, one of my first comic experiences ripping an early issue of the Turtles. It became quite popular. Here we have Master Splinter. The origin. And the cartoon was a little different than the original comic book origin, only that he used to be a man who turned into a mutant rat, where initially he was a rat who turned into a mutant rat. So April O'Neil wakes up in the sewer, is introduced to the turtles, learns they love pizza, and then there's the Shredder, the Shredhead. I remember a cartoon when the cartoon premiered, because I'd heard about them before. Ninja Turtles. And me and my friends, we were a fan of ninjas. Before the Ninja Turtles, I guess American Ninja, that movie, the American Ninja movie was a success in North America, but we would find a lot of these old ninja movies, rent them. And I was quite the fan. So these silly cartoon Ninja Turtles were like kid stuff for me. But I still, still watched the first few. Now here we're gonna have Bebop and Rocksteady. This is a miniseries. This was a 3-issue miniseries before Archie Comics made the ongoing Turtles Adventure comic series, which I have a few issues of, and I think is very interesting. Like, different stuff happens in there. They're not following. I hear they're talking about the turtles. People are giving them grief How come Archie Comics is doing the color TMNT comic? Well, the answer to that one begins with our licensing agent. Kevin. Oh, Peter. Peter Laird. Yeah, good for you guys. Alright, so there's the first one. Got the back and the shakedown. That's Flintstones Fruity Pebbles ad. Alright, issue 2. Here we've got the Shredder. Yeah, look at this. It's a nice sunny day today. Let's see if I can. There might just have to be a little bit of shade here. Yes. Well, what you gonna do? In this issue, there's robots. This is from. It's dated October 1988. I think when I bought these, I think it was maybe 89. It could have been 88. It's easy to follow the action. I think there was more action in the beginning. They had to like establish that yes, they were ninja. They jump around and flip. Rocksteady, Bebop. Krang. I don't think Krang's in this yet, but Krang. There was only ever, I think, one Krang in the cartoon, but they were like a whole bunch of aliens. You know what? They probably did go to their planet. Fun fact, Shredder in the cartoon, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the voice of the Shredder was the father from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. When I learned that years ago, I thought, what, really? Then I thought about it, and yeah, that makes sense. Well, it sounds the same. So even Splinter has the power to whack the Mousers. Who is the Mouser bad guy? This guy, yeah. He made them? That's actually, so this is comic 2. See if we can find it. Because I have this number 2 too. And this actually, yeah, it has the Mousers. This cover's by Corbin. Is his name Michael? Corbin? He's cool. He does awesome painted covers. Let's see what the Mousers. Okay, they're a little bit more. Yeah, there's the guy, Max. I don't know, I think it's just that. I think I just showed him for the pen. Yeah, there he is. So that is this guy. They turned him into like an old white guy for the cartoon. When they made the movie, like the very first one with the Jim Henson animatronic suits, it was cool, but they were too big. They were too tall. That was one of my complaints. Because really, I don't know if you get a picture of them standing up, like how tall is April O'Neil? They're pretty short. They're like 4 feet tall or something. And even in the cartoon, they would get taller. Seems like, yeah, like they're almost equal. Equal there. Oh no, it's Krang. Speak of the brainchild. So they blast them. So I never got the third one. But this just follows the cartoon. And I could just watch the cartoon. I didn't like how his two arms were so long. I thought he was supposed to have a whole bunch of little ones, and that's how they got around. This is before he gets his big body. His big, lumbersome robot body, but he lets his stomach out. I guess that's what happens in the third one. Oh yeah, and then these these teenagers from a different dimension come. That's what's gonna happen next issue. They're like, we're cool rock stars. Woohoo! Yeah, they're gonna dig the turtle. We got a nice ad for Archie. Nice way to end off any comic. Oh yeah. Sure. Let's get cozy. Archie. Betty and Veronica. Health education. Oh yeah, this is like 1988. Through the 80s, man. It's all about AIDS. They're giving you the public service message from Archie Comics. Okay. Oh, and here's an ad for the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the role-playing game. I actually played this. I had played, growing up, I'd played like Dungeons and Dragons a couple times in elementary school. And it was okay. We probably didn't really know what we were doing, but... And then I played Dungeons and Dragons a few times when I was like in grade 8. And it was like a complicated system. Anyway, there was one like Dungeons and Dragons published by the people who published the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the role-playing game. We called them Palladium books. But later in my life I learned that it's Palladium. Probably later that year when I learned about the elements. The elemental table. Anyway. Yeah, this Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle role-playing game had comics in the pages of the book. It was easier to follow when I played that. Well, I wouldn't tell people I played that. Like, pretty nerdy, pretty geeky. So that was just me and our friend's secret. So we knew all about the turtles. And the cartoon played on the TV. And later after this, I did buy some of the old Turtles comics and collect that for a time as well. But that's not what we're talking about here. So thanks for taking all that